guys, welcome back to another one. If you were new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the new 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLA 35, courtesy of Hagerstown Mercedes-Benz in Hagerstown, Maryland. This is going to be quite a fun one. I wanted to jump in this one today because, of course, it's an AMG. Obviously, I wanted to experience that a little bit, but also haven't got to check out any form of the GLA so far in my past 500 plus reviews. So I'm actually quite excited to be doing this one then. So in this video, I will be testing out and going over everything about this one: exhaust clip, acceleration, paddle shifters, braking, ride quality, all that stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so MSRP for the AMG GLA 35 will start at $47,550. Powering the beast is going to be an AMG enhanced 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine, putting out 302 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 3,000 RPM, power sent to all 4 wheels through Mercedes-Benz's 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, power sent to the ground through an 8-speed dual clutch with aluminum paddle shifters, which do feel quite nice, I will say that. 0 to 60 time comes in at approximately 5 seconds flat. Top speed 155 miles per hour, with MPG numbers coming in at 23 in the city, 29 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. Do want to also mention, though, there is an engine start-stop system on the GLA here, so if you wanted to turn that off, there is actually a button to do so just by the engine start button. So I know some people don't want it, so I always like to mention that. Anyways, now having said that, before we do any kind of paddle shift or acceleration test, I did want to mention there are some drive modes, of course, for the GLA 35. That toggle switch is labeled dynamic, or dynamic select is what Mercedes calls it, and it is located just to the left of the touchpad controller there, and that will adjust between comfort, slippery, sport, sport plus, and individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, the steering sensitivity, and the engine start-stop system as well. But now, having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's test out the paddle shifters here first. I just want to see how quickly they are going to react for us here. All right, and we are in sport driving mode in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Wow, dang. Absolutely not disappointed. These paddle shifters are lightning quick, certainly just as quick as just about everything else that I've tested lately, whether it be BMW, Maserati, Porsche. These things are dang quick when it comes to the paddle shifters, at least, so very impressed there. But having now gotten that out of the way, I mean, I kind of experienced it already, but let's go ahead and give back full control to this one. And let's do a quick little acceleration test here with the GLA having full control, and let's see how quickly we can get this new AMG GLA 35 here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, from a standstill. There it is. I feel like I'm freaking in a video game. That was fun. Definitely no issues emerging onto the highway. It kind of does make you feel like you're in a video game because of how quickly that thing shifts. I definitely love it. That acceleration was plenty enough for the GLA 35 without a doubt. But to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 13.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13-inch ventilated rear discs, silver painted 4-piston front calipers with the AMG lettering. You gotta love that. As far as braking feel goes, it's been perfectly fine. Definitely not gonna have any issues with bringing this thing to a stop, and there's no brake pedal delay or sponginess or anything like that, so that's always a good thing. Not that I expected it, but anyways, touching on suspension and handling, 4-wheel independent suspension, AMG springs and struts, since we have the GLA 35, of course, adaptive damping suspension as well, and that's the one I always look for, especially in cars like this. Essentially, what that is it's going to adjust dependent upon the road conditions and how fast you're going around turns. It is going to tighten up the suspension during heavy cornering, but it's also going to read those road imperfections and give you a much smoother ride through that adaptive damping suspension as well. So again, giving you the best of both worlds, and that is something you always want to look for if you want the best ride quality, but also want better handling as well. Then touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. This is kind of a smaller crossover SUV, so shouldn't have any issues there when it comes to visibility. Also wanted to mention though, rain sensing windshield wipers are going to come standard across the board as well. Essentially what that means is whenever the GLA detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about basically. But that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLA 35. All right, and so here she is, you guys, the new 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLA 35, finished in night black. Okay, so anybody did put that together already, but let's go ahead and start up front on the GLA here. Vertical slats on the front grille with the AMG logo, of course, since we have the AMG 35 here. To the sides, LED headlights do come standard as expected with the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark out at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. LED daytime running lights also coming standard on this one, and there is an option for those adaptive front headlights as well, adaptive LED headlights I should say. Essentially what that is when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights will swivel based on the direction of your steering angle, better help illuminating what is around that bend, so you're less likely to hit a deer or a possum or a squirrel or whatever. So that is going to be there for you as well. And then down to the corners, you guys can probably tell, do have some front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination then as well. But I think what really stands out to me, I love that front grille. I love the front grille on the AMG version of the GLA here. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the side of this one. So making our way to the side, aluminum roof rails do come standard on this one. And kind of to go along with that, you do have some aluminum trim found on the side skirts and some chrome window surrounds then as well. So it all looks very good together. You guys can also probably see that turbo 4MATIC badging found on the front fenders, of course, because the engine is turbocharged, and 4MATIC being Mercedes all-wheel drive system, of course. Now, one of the things that kind of took me for a little bit of a surprise is rear privacy glass does not come standard on this one. Of course, you can tint the windows yourself if you wanted to, but this is kind of a crossover. I kind of expected it to be there, but nonetheless, taking a look at the side mirrors, body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. They will of course be heated as well with LED integrated turn signals then as well. Side mirrors done very well. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 19 by 8 inch AMG twin 5-spoke alloys. I feel like I always say this, Mercedes-Benz has some of the best looking wheel designs out there right now. I absolutely love them personally. And there are of course some optional wheel setups available, but just behind that, again, those silver calipers with the AMG lettering, the drilled front and rear rotors as well. Definitely a very menacing, very sporty look to the GLA that we have here today. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the back of this one. Now, since we are around back, there is no shark fin antenna, surprisingly. Rear spoiler with an integrated brake light does come standard. Just below that, rear window wiper as well. Love seeing the AMG badging back there. Think that's pretty stinking cool. LED taillights do come standard on this one as well, so that's very nice. And just below it all, you guys can see it, there is a matte black rear diffuser, and to the sides there, dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. It's open now since we are around back of this one. When it comes to opening that rear liftgate, there of course are several different ways you can go ahead and do that. One way is by using the button on the key fob for the liftgate. That is one way. Also a button on the liftgate itself. That is yet another way. And there is actually a button on the driver's side door as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 19 cubic feet behind that second row. If that was not enough space, there of course is a 40-20-40 split, meaning the rear seats essentially will fold down, bumping that up to 50.5 cubic feet with that second row folded. Also wanted to mention in the back there's a cargo cover that comes standard. There's some side pockets with mesh netting as well, an elastic strap for holding items upright, also chrome painted tie down anchors, which look pretty cool back there, chrome sill protector as well, also some grocery bag hooks, and there is actually some in-floor storage if you lift up underneath of that cargo floor as well, and actually a decent amount for the size of this vehicle, I will say that as well. So that was pretty cool. Then make our way to the rear legroom. That comes in an even 38 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the back seats there. Rear ventilation, of course, also does come standard. There is a little bit of storage, I guess you could say, just below those rear air vents, and then just below that, if you pull open that next little cubby area, there are a couple phone charging ports and then a 115 volt power outlet as well, which you almost never see in vehicles this size. So that was pretty cool seeing that as well. Also wanted to mention though, rear center armrest with cup holders, and those rear seats do recline then as well if you wanted to take a little siesta back there. But then making our way to the front seats, 8-way power adjustable front seats do come standard with 4-way power lumbar, of course. Memory settings for up to 3 different driving positions. A lot of times with other manufacturers, you will find 2. So it's kind of cool that this one offers 3. That's always nice. Mercedes-Benz Tex upholstery will be the standard configuration as far as the finish goes. AMG Performance front seats are going to be optional on this one. That is pretty cool. Red seat belts are going to be optional. Multi-contoured front seating is going to be optional as well. But I will say, I love the interior color that they put in this particular one. It looks so stinking cool. And by the way, seats are plenty comfortable as well. So definitely no issues with taking this thing on a long road trip and not being comfortable or anything like that. But let's take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is a flat bottom steering wheel as well, which is pretty cool. It is leather wrapped and perforated on the sides there. And did want to mention there is a Dynamica suede steering wheel that will be optional on this one, but I gotta say the leather steering wheel is perfectly fine for me, so definitely a fan. Then take a look at the startup. Let me first start by showing you guys the key here. Essentially all of your buttons are located on one side of the key. Mercedes-Benz logo front and center. You got some AMG lettering on the bottom, lock, unlock, and of course that button to pop the rear hatch. But it is although keyless entry, so all I'm going to do is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button, which is located just to the left of the climate control vent there. But once started up, gauges are going to be fully digital. It is a 10¼ inch digital gauge cluster, which is, by the way, completely customizable. There are so many different loadouts, so many different themes, if you will, that you can display for those gauges, and I absolutely love that. So you could choose a more traditional gauge setup if you want, with the speedometer on your left, tachometer on your right. Ton of different information you can display front and center, digital speedometer, speed limit of any given road, outside temperature, the list goes on there. But there are plenty, like I said, plenty of different themes you could put for those gauges. So I absolutely love that, and I think Mercedes does a very good job with their digital gauge cluster, I gotta be honest. But then making our way to overall interior quality, first thing I want to mention, panorama roof is going to be optional. We don't have it today, but it is going to be optional, so I wanted to mention that. But carbon fiber interior trim, I love that. It can be found on the doors, also just above the passenger side glove box. It is authentic carbon fiber, so definitely a very nice look to it. Dual zone climate control is going to come standard. 64 colors of ambient lighting, and I always like to emphasize this. Mercedes-Benz does ambient lighting better than every other manufacturer out there, and there are so many that do ambient lighting right now, but none of them can beat Mercedes-Benz. Here's why. They do more of it. I will say that. So there's some just above the passenger side glove box, above the carbon fiber trim there. There's some on the doors, of course. There's some around the touchpad controller. There's some in the footwells, but I tell you what, nobody else does it around the circular air vents. There's some around the circular air vents in the middle portion. That is what really sets it apart. That's what does it for me, believe it or not. But anyways, I love the ambient lighting. AMG illuminated door sills are going to be optional. Auto dimming rear view mirror is going to be optional. Garage door openers are going to be optional as well, so you can tack on a little bit extra money there if you wanted to. But overall, in front of the cup holders, you have a little bit of rubberized storage there. There is a phone charging port, 12-volt power outlet. Again, the cup holders are actually pretty cool too, so they are kind of big to start with, but when you hit these little play buttons on the top and the bottom, that actually throws out an extension, which kind of makes them a little bit smaller and better holds your drink in place. So I think that's pretty cool that there's buttons there. But just behind that, you have your touchpad controller. I'll get into that in a second. And within the center armrest, you have 2 more phone charging ports apparently, and definitely a decent amount of deep storage in there as well. So overall, this is what I always say. Mercedes-Benz is one of the best when it comes to interior quality and the materials used and the ambient lighting, of course. overall. So definitely in love with this interior quality in this GLA that we have here today. But let's now go ahead and make our way to the tech display. And so to mirror the gauges, tech display is also going to be a 10.25 inch color touchscreen display, but it's more than just that. It is voice activated as well. And there's that touchpad controller I was mentioning to you guys a second ago, where you can use it essentially kind of like a laptop. You just swipe your finger around. There's a couple buttons you can hit as well. But overall, a ton of different information you could check out up there, including the themes I was telling you guys about, where you can adjust what is on the gauges and also the ambient lighting color. So BMW has something similar too, actually, because I just got done driving one of them. So I love the different themes you could pick from in this Mercedes GLA. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay as well, of course, meaning you can hook your smartphone up to the GLA and it'll display free navigation on that tech display, as well as the ability to like and dislike your Pandora songs and so on. Factory navigation system also coming standard. You could check out your different drive modes up there as well then. And overall, it is very easy to use, and I love, one thing I forgot to mention, I love when you put it in that sport driving mode, it actually deepens the exhaust note as well, or opens up the exhaust valve. So don't think I mentioned that when it comes to the drive mode. So that is a pretty cool little feature there as well. Anyways, of course, you can adjust your radio settings up there too. And by the way, when it comes to the sound system on the GLA here, 6 speakers is going to be standard. However, there is an optional 12 speaker Burmester sound system that can be had with 590 watts and a 9-channel digital amplifier then as well. And of course, you guys know that is the sound system that we do indeed have here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn to the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. It was just wonderful. It was a wonderful sound system. I really liked that. Plenty of bass, plenty of clarity. That was a very well done sound system for the GLA here that we have. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the GLA in reverse, you will of course find a very high definition rear view camera. I don't think I've seen them that high quite recently. That's very nice. Anyways, that of course is going to let you know who or what is behind you, and of course that is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also standard active brake assist, driver attention monitoring system, blind spot assist, and crosswind assist then as well. But I will say there are some optional safety features that can be had with the GLA here, including adaptive high beam assist, speed limit recognition, Parktronic with active parking assist, which will scare the living heck out of you the first time you use it because it works so well. It essentially lets you pick out the parking spot and whether you want to pull in or back in, and then it does all of the work for you, including the gas, the brake, the steering. And it's going to scare you, but it's going to work beautifully. But anyways, adaptive cruise control also optional, evasive steering assist, automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, lane change assist, and a dash cam as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the AMG GLA 35, great driving dynamics without a doubt. Again, it makes you feel like you're in a video game as quick as it shifts. It's a wonderful feeling, by the way. Also an amazing exhaust note for what this vehicle is, I will say that. I love the exhaust, especially when you put it in that sport driving mode. Makes a heck of a difference. Interior quality is basically second to none with the authentic carbon fiber trim with the very best ambient lighting in existence right now. I'm telling you guys, it's absolutely amazing. Plenty of options to really personalize this one as well, so you can really make it your own, and I like that. But as far as constructive criticism goes, part of that personalization should not be safety. I will say that. All of that optional safety I just mentioned really should be standard. Safety really shouldn't be optional on any vehicle, in my personal opinion. But other than that, this thing is amazing. So let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments section below. That is about it for this one, you guys. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it actually gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button. If you're into new car reviews, that is what we do here on this channel. After all, do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.